After the Black Sea collision incident, although there was no direct conflict between Russia and the United States, everyone can feel that the smell of gunpowder between the two sides has become more intense, because some NATO countries have already taken action. Just like the United Kingdom, it sent 3 fighter planes to threat Russia over the Black Sea. At the same time, NATO is still strengthening its war output against Ukraine. In this context, the Russian president announced a major news: the deployment of strategic nuclear weapons in a neighboring country. According to media reports, Putin announced a major news, that is, Russia has agreed to the request of the Belarusian government and will deploy strategic nuclear weapons on the territory of Belarus, which can better help Belarus deal with threats. Last year, the president of Belarus put forward a request to return nuclear weapons. At that time, NATO forces and fighter planes were frantically moving around Belarus, and even held a strategic nuclear weapon strike exercise near Belarus. At that time, the president of Belarus announced that it was time to consider returning nuclear weapons. Only these weapons can keep Belarus away from war. Subsequently, Lukashenko made a request to Russia. At the same time, Belarus also proposed a bomber modification plan to meet the needs of airdropped nuclear weapons. After a few months, Russia finally gave a formal response, sending strategic nuclear weapons to Belarus. It is worth mentioning that Putin had already given Belarus a big gift package before announcing the news. Putin pointed out that Russia has helped the Belarusian Air Force transform 10 bombers so that they can carry nuclear weapons, and also gave Belarus some Iskander missile systems, which can also carry nuclear weapons. It has to be said that this big gift package sent by Russia has greatly improved Belarus' nuclear weapon strike capability. After the content of this big gift package was announced, Putin also emphasized the start time of the nuclear weapon deployment operation, which is April 3rd this year, and at the same time build a nuclear weapon storage facility in Belarus. According to the plan, Russia will allow Belarus to have enough nuclear weapon storage facilities before July 1st to facilitate the placement of Russian nuclear weapons. After announcing these news, Putin also emphasized that these nuclear weapons still belong to Russia, not to Belarus. Just like the United States, it deployed nuclear weapons in Europe and did not send nuclear weapons to its European allies. Since the United States did not violate international treaties, Russia would not violate international treaties by doing so. It seems that what Russia said is very reasonable, and the United States has no way to use international treaties to accuse Russia. Therefore, when the White House responded to this matter, it also seemed very calm. The White House pointed out that it has heard the news of Russia's deployment of nuclear weapons, and the United States will always pay attention to this matter. However, this does not mean that Russia will use nuclear weapons, so there is no need for the United States to adjust. Obviously, the United States does not want to confront Russia head-on, and does not want to worsen US-Russia relations again. Just like the previous Black Sea drone incident, the United States, which suffered a great loss, did not ask Russia to apologize, and did not even accuse Russia of provoking a military conflict. Instead, it took the initiative to ask its military to change the flight route of the drone. In fact, the United States just doesn't want to get too involved in the Ukraine conflict. Americans understand that the current war situation is more in the interests of the United States. Once deeply involved in the Russia-Ukraine conflict, the United States will lose more than it gains.